Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to a fantastic episode in which we're gonna answer the following question. Has this ever happened to you that you were in a battle event versus an opponent, and whenever you were attacking that opponent you get a similar result, what you see me getting here on the screen, only being able to take 4 of his units down? Now, I personally have experienced even worse battle reports in which I was not even able to take 1 of his units down. So the big question is, what options do you have? Should you wait for a stronger player to come and kick such a player from such a building? Is that the only option you have? Because the answer, dear beautiful people, definitely not. Because I'm gonna show you a little trick. But first, let's have a look at my opponent in here in order for you to understand the situation. So here is my setup with Brady level 5, Chinji is level 7, and Abad with level 5. And this is my opponent right here with Lila level 7, Zen level 7, and also Jester with level 7. And let's briefly go through the stats because it's also important to mention. So I'm going to scroll all the way down in order for us to see his Navy stats, but also my Air Force stats. So you see over 6,000 Navy HP, 4,800 Navy attack. You see a whopping 684 Navy damage increase and a 664 damage decrease. While on the other side, you see me with almost 2,000% less HP, with almost 1,200 less attack. And of course, there is also a big difference between my damage increase on my Air Force versus his damage increase and damage decrease on his Navy. And of course, we want to have a look at the DEF. So in this case, 78% for his Navy. In my case, for the Air Force, just a 30%. But when we come down to the DEF of all units, you see him have a 157% versus me having just 78.5%. So definitely a very powerful opponent. So let me show you what you can do. And in this case, I have switched my Chinji with that beautiful level 7 with Mr. Rockfield. And let's have a look at the setup itself. First of all, we have to mention that this Rockfield you see in here is level 5. I'm also going to show you the level 7 one. But what also is very important to mention is I'm using this March size rare skill and non-rare. I have higher ones, but this is what I use right now because this is one of the marches which I have as my secret weapon. Of course, the higher the march, the better the results. We're going to explain this in a second once we have a closer look at Mr. Rockfield. And of course, you see the gear is basically just some random purple gear. And let's have a look at the result and have a look at this. So going all the way up to me being able to take 54 of his units down with 1 attack. Now let's have a look to see how Rockfield with level 7 looks like. And this is the battle report. And here you see I was able to take 60 of his units down. And if we have a look at the attributes, yes, you see me having Rockfield with level 7. Now let's have a closer look at this hero because there are 2 very important criteria which you have to take in consideration, which basically tells you what are the best cases in which you should use Rockfield. Because you saw that's a massive damage, but there are also 2 very important requirements. So first of all, for every 1% fewer units versus your opponent, the damage will be reduced by 1%. But what's even more important is for every level that your units are lower than your opponent's average units level, the damage will massively drop by 50%. So you know what, let me show you an example. So you saw me being able to take 54 of his units down with a level 5, and also you saw me being able to take 60 of his units down with the Rockfield level 7. But what exactly happens if I'm using lower level units? So here is the difference here, beautiful people. So you see my full march has level 101 planes, while of course the reinforcements, because I'm using the shark formation, has level 102 units. So basically speaking, there is 2 levels difference between my units and his units, and that's why the damage which Rockfield's magic does goes severely down to just 16 units being taken down. Now, let's have a look at the animation in order for you to understand a little bit more better the hero. And let's take this battle report right here. Let's press replay. I'm downstairs, he is upstairs. Pay attention of his units on his slots. So 39, 39, 38. And you see that was the initial hit coming from Rockfield. This is one of the original heroes in Top War. And when it was introduced, it was far, far more powerful than it was right now, because it used to cast this effect every single round. And of course, River Game realized this extremely fast, as it's absolutely overpowered, and tuned him down to this version what we are having right now. So in other words, what I'm also going to answer in this episode is what are the perfect cases in which you can use Rockfield. And one of the best battlegrounds is of course the Titan Canyon, because your units will not get demoted, as you saw a couple of seconds ago. The lower the units, the less efficient the hero performs. But in the Titan Canyon, you can heal your units very cheap with gems and they don't demote. Which means, in other words, yes, of course, you can use this in SVS battle also. But just keep in mind that this is an extreme emergency, because you're gonna get your units demoted extremely fast, which will gonna lead in Rockfield stop working, because of the massive difference in level between your unit's level and the opponent's unit's level. So anyways, beautiful people, this is the magic trick which I wanted to show you in this episode. A massive shout out goes out to Mr. Jeff from Ireland, which has contacted me because he is the proud winner of those €30 pay safe code. Now we tested, that didn't work, which led us into me giving him gold blocks worth of €30. So dear beautiful people, yes, as we mentioned in the previous episodes and in the last live stream, we're gonna do far more giveaways with prizes which gonna be far higher, and probably maybe we're gonna do it once a week. But the main requirement here is we have to reach this 20,000 subscribers. So yeah, support the channel which supports you back, dear beautiful people. In other words, subscribe, share this channel with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao, guys.